This room has lived many lives. It started life as a makeshift hair salon and brutal ugliness. From there, it was gutted when I moved into this house 10 years ago. It then became my tool room for several years. Most recently, my tools have moved out of the garage, turning it into a crappy guest bedroom. Look, this guest loves it so much, he won't even leave. And these are my children, of which there are 3. Now this poses a problem since this is a 3-bedroom house, and my wife and I would like to claim one for ourselves. With that being said, the only logical thing to do is turn this into this.
Ugh, gross.
Okay, so the first thing we need to do is to get everything out of this room and this adjacent closet here. So now that everything's cleaned out of those rooms, I want to bring you on a little journey down the stairs and kind of give you a sense of how the house is laid out. So we come down here, we can see the kids' basically playroom. They have all their toys over there and plus all the other crap that we've moved out of the bedroom for now. So we're going to tear up this tile and re-stud a wall right here with a door in this spot. So we're going to be using that door, bringing it over here, and this door will now basically be part of this bedroom as an emergency escape. Since you need 2 points of exit from your bedroom and that window is too small, this stair upstairs to the garage is a perfect escape along with the regular staircase to the rest of the house. So here you can see this is the staircase going upstairs, and underneath the staircase is going to be the new bedroom closet. So there'll be a set of doors in here, maybe a bifold door or something custom that allows you to have closet storage. And as we come in here, the first thing you notice is this big concrete pad right here. It's about 2 inches tall and about 2.5 feet square. And I think it was for like a furnace or a hot water tank or a utility sink or something. And you can see there's like a little piece of pipe sticking out here. I wasn't sure if I'd ever add a sink back in here, and now I know I'm not going to, so I left that stubbed and capped. So we're gonna remove that. We're gonna remove that. I have a jackhammer I rented to tear that up. Now, as you can see, there's some water damage. The paint is peeling off the cement right here. And we did have a leak when we first moved in, but at the same time, last year we had the dishwasher explode and leak all down here. And I just want to tear down this wall, look behind everything. It's just a few sheets of drywall, hopefully, no real damage. And I just want to make sure there's no black mold or anything growing. If this is going to be someone's bedroom, it needs to be safe. So we're going to go ahead, tear up that, tear down that, and we'll meet you back. Well, that went surprisingly well. Obviously, that piece of concrete was poured after the fact and is just floating on there. So that leads me to the point where now I'm going to take the drywall off to right here where there is a stud going up, and that's kind of its own sheet of drywall. There is a seam right there as well. So I'm just going to peel this and this whole wall down now and just inspect how everything is. Afterwards, I am going to have to clear out the rest of that rubble and then re-stud the bottom of the walls so they're now attached to the ground instead of that little bit of leftover floating cement right there. Okay, so the drywall is down and now it's time to investigate. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut off half of this moisture barrier, vapor barrier, whatever it's called. I'm gonna take this off, take this half of the insulation off and see what's happening behind there. Hopefully it doesn't go all the way up to the ceiling or whatever, but I am seeing this black down here and a bit of staining on this stud in particular. That's leading me to believe that we do have some water problems. So let's get this taken off and see what we got. Okay, so this is severely worse than I thought. All of this is wet on the inside and appears to be wet on the outside because the bricks look very dark gray. All of the fiberglass here is sticking to the wall. It's still wet. And down here just doesn't look good at all. So I think what's gonna have to happen is probably worst case scenario. This whole wall is coming down, and I think it's because this window is leaking. I don't know. We'll find out more as we tear stuff down, but I'm gonna call it dumpster, and we're gonna tear this out. Okay, so the base looks really bad. The next step is gonna be chopping the bottoms, taking that, throwing it in the garbage, salvaging what I can, taking the rest of the wall down and this casement around the window as well. And then I'm gonna get a fan going on this and hopefully dry this all out. Once this is dry, I'm gonna let it sit for probably a month just to see where the water's coming from and really understand what's going on. I really don't want to build this wall up again without knowing exactly what the problem is. Maybe it'll come down to a fix on the outside of the house. I really hope it doesn't, but we'll see what we can do. So while that wall dries out for the next forever, might as well get started on the next part of the project, which is going to be removing these doors and these walls right here. So I'm going to start off by removing the electrical, i.e. the switches that are in both these walls right here, because, you know, knocking down a wall with electrical might be bad. And then I'm going to take away the casings, remove the door jambs themselves, then take down the walls. And lastly, I'm going to use my jackhammer again and tear up this tile right here, because it's not going to really make sense in the front of the bedroom anymore. So let's get started. So the reason I had to take out that little section of wall right here is simply because the brick flows like this and then it jets out here about 3 inches this way. So this wall is a little bit further out. And since there's no dividing wall between the rooms anymore, I'm going to continue this wall this way and then there'll be a little jet out right here. It'll just make things a little simpler, and this will leave us with like this little shelf area too for putting stuff up. So I figure that's a nice little feature and we get a little more room. Okay, so the next step is going to be to take off this section of wall, which I've already cut a line through the drywall here, remove this section along with this faceplate, and then this section of ceiling, and that's where we're going to frame in our new wall. So the next step is to remove this little jet out here, and this is where the sink used to be for the hair salon. Obviously, since then I've capped it and abandoned this. Now it's time to finally cut this out so it sits flush with the wall. This is 2-inch pipe down here, 1.5 inch up here. So what I've got is a little section of 2-inch ABS pipe, a 2-inch coupler for the bottom, and a 2-inch to 1.5 inch adapter for the top. So let's get this cut, all glued up with some ABS cement. Let's move on. This is what happens when you don't have the right tools. I'm going to be wrapping up this video here as this project has gotten so much larger than I anticipated, so I'll be releasing it in a few parts, so make sure you subscribe for updates. But before you go, I wanted to give you a tour of the outside of the house so you understand where the water is coming in. I have removed all but one downspout from the weeping system, and of course that one is next to the room in question. The reason I never took this one out is I figured the weeping system could handle that one downspout because there really isn't a good place to run the downspout over the patio anyways. This is double true for the fact that when it rains, this section of patio can flood and might be 100% of the problem right there. As of right now, I'm not sure what my next steps will be, so please leave a comment to your suggestion on what you think is causing my wet walls, and I'll see you on the next one.